Well, we're here in the deep woods and I want to do some off-grid cooking. Actually, this is just one of my back lots. But anyways, I got this Kieth Titanium Rice Cooker. I've showcased this a couple different times. It has basically pressure cooker capabilities, but as you can see, that top hole there, that lets the steam escape, and it's good for cooking rice up. I use an alcohol stove in conjunction with it. But we're going to do bacon wrapped meatloaf today, just kind of as a seeing what the capabilities of this are. So I've never done this, or I have not done this yet. Been working on the concept for a little bit. To cover that hole, you could use like a properly sized screw or something like that. Stainless steel recommended. I'm going to use this Susan B. Anthony dollar as a jigger. The screw would only really have one use, whereas the dollar has multiple uses, namely as currency. Stow's easy. Put it in your coin pocket, and it's actually a coin that, you know, is worth spending. Alright, it's almost primed. You probably can't see the flame. I kind of can. And again, this is the ever new titanium alcohol stove, spirit burner if you're British. And the reason I like this is because you can set your pot directly on it, and what it does is it tames the flame to a point where it spreads out evenly on the bottom. And I'm going to go get some heavy duty foil to kind of encapsulate that so that I can mitigate crosswinds from either blowing it out, which they likely won't unless they're really harsh, but really help focus the heat. Again, it's hard to see the flame on these alcohol stoves, but I assure you, it is burning. We'll chart the time when it reaches a boil. And that'll be noted by the steam that arises from the water that I put in the base. Using a Susan B. Anthony dollar as a jigger. You'll hear it rattling when the steam starts to evacuate if you don't see the steam. The advantages to steam cooking are that it's generally healthier and you don't use fats or oils to cook with, but this totally negates that by being bacon wrapped meatloaf. Alright. Susan B's starting to dance. You can hear it starting to boil. Took about 8 minutes. And just a little segue, this is a possum and a groundhog that I killed. Possum was caught in a trap. Incidentally, it was set for the groundhog. Shot the groundhog in the neck. And this is about 4 days. There's no smell. Basically predation and flies and such have rotted it down to this. Alright, this is about 30 minutes in, still on the first fill of fuel, still boiling. I'm not going to add additional water after I refill the fuel. Water becomes a scarce resource when you're out there, so I kind of just want to experiment and see where it goes. And if it makes a bomb or creates a grease fire, it'll be a lesson learned. And 32 minutes in, the flame has just gone out. It is no longer boiling. I'm going to remove this gasket. Even though it's silicone, I don't know what its temperature resistance is on this apparatus. Alright, we're steaming up there. So this is our first look. There's still water in there. So what I'll do is I will leave the gasket on. And I'll just refill the fuel and start it burning again. It smells great. And almost immediately it's boiling again. Cooking directly on the spirit burner is helping to preserve the fuel, and that coin is helping to preserve the water inside. One of the things about boiling water is generally it will not get up unless under pressure past 212 degrees Fahrenheit or 100 degrees Celsius. So what that does is that meters how fast the meat is going to cook. And that's kind of where I'm interested to see where it goes. Here we are 45 minutes in. With the drop in daylight, you can see how the flame is reacting, crawling up the sides there. Starting to get a little browning up there from what it's spitting out. Let's check, it's still spitting steam, or at least evacuating steam. Yeah, a little singe on Susan B on the backside, but we'll continue to let it go. I'm being encircled by rabbits. They do not have a healthy fear of humans. There's another one. Little bunny. Coming right up to me. Here we are at 1 hour, still the second fill of fuel. Susan B's still moving around. You can still hear steam evacuating. Curiosity is getting the better of me, and I want to take a peek inside, but I think I'm just going to have to let that go. Right, starting to smell like browned meat, and now I'm going to let my curiosity get to me here, because I want to see what it looks like in there. I'm going to have to take it off of the flame. I'm going to remove the gasket at this point. Still needs to cook. And I'm going to pocket this coin. Sounds more like simmering fat at the bottom. Smells as such. Yeah, we'll let it go from there. And only just a minute later, the fuel has burned out. So I'm going to refill that, but I'm only going to refill it halfway. So that 2 fills burned for about an hour. You can hear the different sound. That definitely sounds like bubbling and simmering fat. So right now I have an inclination to turn the meatloaf over and dump it into the main pot. See how that works. And keep it recording while we're doing that. I'd recommend some sort of feed handling gloves. Just take that off. Ooh, it is hot. Yeah, that's definitely fat, meat fat down at the bottom. Okay, pretty clean. My fingers are relatively heat resistant compared to most people's. Something I like to exhibit when I'm at restaurants and the wait staff says the plate is hot, and that's good caution, but I throw caution to the wind and I always have to touch it. Oh yeah, that is simmering in its fat. So I guess after about an hour, when your water's all evacuated, that's the time to turn it. Right, back inside, we're going to check the internal temperature. It's a good sign when your needle starts moving right away. I'm looking for about 160. And we are way above that. Yeah, we are way above that for internal temperature. 185. So, yeah, maybe cut it down to maybe an hour and 10, maybe an hour. So, yeah, almost about 190. That's way overdone. But at the same time, you're cooking bacon and sausage and beef in the field, you want it to be done. Alright, I'm going to see if we can get this out of here. Ooh, that is definitely a crispy bottom. And that pan is going to be a pain in the ass to clean. Good thing I got the dishwasher working again. First world problems. I'm going to use my standard mess kit that I would have in the field. Couldn't tell you what brand it is. Not peddling it anyways. Vault can. Right. Overly done over there, of course. Okay. Take a bite off the, we'll call it the undercooked side or the less cooked side. Oh my. That is fantastic. That'll go good with just about anything. Very good. And now the carbonized side. The meat on the inside looks just fine. And its moistness, thanks to the rough cut vegetables, that garlic is hitting good. But that'll offset the crunchy crispiness of the outside. Let's see. Not bad. Not bad at all. The bacon is almost caramelized in the fat. You can taste where the onion has come out into it, and it's tolerable, even though it's crusty. But I wouldn't pass it up as a meal. So I guess if I had to revise the cooking method any, it would be keeping it in the internal gasketed pot. Because it seems to cook just fine, evenly. Maybe adding just a little bit more water to see it through that hour and 10-minute time frame. Because the amount of water that I added that was just enough touch the bottom was able to keep it going for about 50-55 minutes. So all that being said, if I had to do it again, a little bit more water in the bottom, keep everything else the same. GoPro, stop recording.